Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Evan Carthy from evancarthy.com. Today, we are going to look at some cryptocurrencies, specifically Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. This is going to be the March kind of review slash preview, 2020. That's what we're going to look at today. Those three is going to be March 2020. So let's start with Bitcoin here real quick. This is using the weekly chart because I want to just explain real quickly how I got there. So starting up over here, this is when the futures contract first started a couple Decembers ago, back in what was that, December 17th. So you can see it started here. So right when it opened, pretty much straight down, what we had was a perfect typical 50% retracement. You can see price came back up, hit the 50%, came down to the target area right down there. So all to do is simply draw the next swing high to swing low right there. Take this one off of here. Price came up again, hit it perfectly, and came down and hit that target perfectly. And this thing, as it's so obvious, was driven by all the big institutions, all the programs out there, just all the big money. Basically, they took everyone's money who had propped this thing up for so long, just all the individual investors, and then finally, when they got a future contract for it, they took everyone's money. That's obvious what happened right there. This thing moved just too perfectly down for it. Now again, this is the weekly chart for it, so obviously this is a little bit longer term than most people are trading for it, but it's just completely obvious looking back in hindsight, which is always 2020, what had happened when the Bitcoin futures contract started. So that happened, and then we had to run it back over there. So what that did was it took out any of the previous highs or anything. See, that one got broken right there, and then if you move it back up top, that one, it provided the resistance for it, the 50 to 61. But for the target area, it obviously can't get hit because the target area is down in the negative numbers. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that one right there. So then we had just pretty much a straight run up over it right there. You'd have to use kind of a 50%, excuse me, the 50% extension, and it still didn't even hit the 50% down here. You see it came close, but never really hit it. Well, hold on, let me get a little bit closer. So yeah, it came down close to it, but never hit it. But still, that's close to what you got if using the weekly charts. So then you just drag it up, fall along for it, and see there was some support, and price got hit down and hit the 50%, but the downtrend was already in a full swing going on. So what we'll do is we will follow it down there because I want to show you how we got into this situation that we're in right now, just a little bit of history of it. So then starting with this uptrend, you see that came back, hit the 78.6, so took it out of it. So we'll just go to that swing low right there. There we go, hit the 50.61, came down and hit the target. So then if you draw the pivot high down there, keep drawing down the swing low, which is right there, hit the 50%, never came down and hit the target, came back up, hit between the 50 and 61, then finally came down and hit that target right there. So this one currently is going to be for the weekly chart, this is what we're looking at right now. Currently, excuse me, price of Bitcoin is busting up against that 50% retracement level right there, which is where the resistance is going to come from at about 74.55 right here. So if this trade is going to work out, if this is going to be another traditional 50% trade, then the exit would be looking for down here with somewhere between around 26.90 and 24.60. It of course can go lower, but the way I trade it, those are the exit levels I look for to get out of right there. Excuse me. So that's why we're having this sort of resistance hitting up against Bitcoin right now. If we go to the daily chart for it, we can see that a little bit of uptrend has been created for it. So using this swing low, we just keep driving it up till we get. So this is pretty close, and I'm going ahead and say this is 50% because when it gets down this close to it, I go ahead and say, yeah, that's a legit trade right there. So the current exit that we have for this one is going to be between about 75.95 and 76.90. So what makes the most sense for what to have in a Bitcoin is just based upon these two trade steps that have formulated. Excuse me, is that Bitcoin goes up there, fulfills that target to the long side up there, so somewhere between about 75.95 and 76.90, and of course it can go higher, but again, these are the profit areas that I use for it. Then once that happens, as you can see, price will have hit this 50% level right there, and that will initiate that short trade down here to about 2700 to 2475. So based upon the current chart setups, that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for Bitcoin to going up a little bit more, hit this area right up in here, you know, around the 7600-ish level right there, and then start looking for that retracement to the downside down to about 2800, 2400. If that does happen, then I will be purchasing some Bitcoin down over here if the short setup does complete. If not, and it just skyrockets up, then I missed the boat on that one. No big deal, it happens. But that's what I'm looking for. That's how I'm playing Bitcoin. I'm waiting for it to go up a little bit more, and then if it does come back down in this 50% retracement does hit, gets back down to around the 2800s and stuff like that, I will definitely be a buyer of Bitcoin. So moving over to Litecoin right here. Not going to go through the whole history of it, but right now what we have is another 50% Fibonacci retracement short side. See, price came back up, hit the 50%, 61 point cent. And what I consider for a trend to be over is for it to go up and really get north of the 61, start closing a bunch above it, and especially hit the 78.6. That's why I have it marked in red right there. But my entry points I like to get into when I'm taking these trades are number one, the 50%, and then number two, the 61.8. And then my stop is usually just north of the 78.6%. So what we're currently looking for Litecoin for this trade setup that's currently in right now is exit somewhere between about $18 and $16. But if we go down to the 4-hour chart down here, we can see we have been creating some momentum to the upside using that swing low, that swing high right there. See, price came down, hit the 50%, 61.8, went up there, fulfilled it, and hit it. So then what we do, we go take that previous swing low to that swing high right there, and prices come down. Use that as support between the 50 and the 61.8. So the current exit for this trade is between about $47 and $48 for that long side setup for Litecoin right there. So it's pretty interesting what's in and out in the daily, like I just mentioned a little bit ago. We're definitely in there's a lot of short momentum going down over here down to the $18, but we're starting to break those short setups by creating some long setups using the 4-hour chart going to the upside right there. Now over to Ethereum. Go back over to the daily chart right here. We are currently in a short setup that actually just completed. Want to show it to you here real quick because let me go back to the weekly chart. That makes it a little bit easier to see. So let me show you how I got here real quick. So using this high up here, price came down right there, went down, hit the 5061.8, came down, fulfilled it right there. So then if you want to use golly, which one? It's kind of messy right there. That one to that one. That one hit the 50% right there. It came down and hit that target perfectly. But then if you took the way I trade these kind of because you never really know when the trend is going to break, when it's going to come and take you out. So if you use this one right here, price would come up, kind of come close to the 78.6 right here. So I would have liked to go ahead and get out of that one. Now the way I trade, that is still a legal trade to the downside, but if you take it up one level right here from the previous swing high, oh, and this is it right there altogether. So excuse me, let me drop it down to there where it was. There it goes, hits out the 50% perfectly, comes and takes it out right there. Then using that swing high coming down right there, you can see price never came up and hit it at all. Plus, you see down here it's going down to the negative, so you can't really call this a valid trade setup right there. Even if it came up and hit the 50%, because your profit target is in the negative territory, so that one is dead and gone. Then as you can see down here using the weekly chart, there really isn't any steps going on right here because it's basically just been high, extreme low, high, then a lower low again. So moving over to the daily chart right there, there started to be a little bit of movement to the upside using this, but if we come back over here, use that, you can see we had a typical or traditional 50% short setup right here. Price came back, hit the 50%, came down and hit the target level right there. So using that one and that one, We are currently looking for, move this over here a little bit. We're currently looking for price to come up here, hit this 50% level, and then if this is going to be another traditional short setup, we're looking for the exit to be somewhere around about $51 to $46 for that one. Again, I know it's not like broken record, but price can always go lower, but those are target levels I look for. And then if you want to go to the 4-hour chart to look to see that there is some upside happening for it, we have that swing low up here to this swing high. And the reason why that swing high, and not this over here, let me show you here real quick. When you have this low pivot bar, see this big green bar right here, there's your swing low right there. Well, with the way I trade, what I need to happen is I need the high of this to get broken for me to have a swing high for this level, because anything lower than that, then that's not going to break the swing high to that bar, so I don't consider that a legitimate trade setup. So I look for the next break high of this bar, which wasn't until about right there, and then come down and retest to the 50%. As you can see, price came down again, still waffling around, and that's where we are right now in the 4-hour chart. So it has received some support, as you can see, right when it hit between the 50 and 61.8. There's definitely been some massive buying down into it. Once it pierced it twice, it hadn't even gotten lower since. So the current exit we're looking for right there is between about 168 and 170. And look what happens if that does come up and get hit. That will fulfill that 50% short. Let me go to the daily chart for it. So that's that setup right there to the long side. So if that goes up, fulfills, then we'll hit that short sub 171.33, and then once that happens, we'd be looking for more weakness to the downside down here between about $51 and $46. Again, none of these trade steps work 100% of the time, but the way I trade is I just look for just play the odds and go with the move, or go with the flow more often than not, because that's the side you want to be on. So it'll let you know really quickly if you are on the wrong side of the trade and need to reverse it. Because the way I trade is not about really being right or being wrong. It's just you want to be on the right side of where the major money is going, and that's what these trade setups try to help me do with the way I trade for that. But that's the cryptocurrencies for March 2020: Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. Stay safe out there. Talk to you soon. Bye.